Welcome and hello and welcome and hello and welcome. It's Un Poco Mas. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. The show where I give you just a little bit more. Thank you for joining me once again. Oh, this is so exciting. It's been so long since I've done a show. No, seriously, I just ended a SMCI show about 2 minutes ago. But I know very few of you turds watch the Crispr content. I don't know why, because this stock, this is just hidden in plain sight. The short on this is just insane. Like, I've never seen anything like this in my life. But I just kind of want to tell you what's been going on lately, because today they released very promising more phase 1 data for CTX 310, which targets triglycerides and LDL, and they're seeing up to 80% reductions with one treatment and a favorable safety profile. So if you look at the fact that Vertex invested in Casgevy in the last round at a $9 billion valuation, you would think CTX 340, any deal a company would make with CRISPR for that therapy would be worth magnitudes more than the Casgevy program. Just depends how do you put a value on these things. Pre-revenue is very, very difficult, and it's obviously wildly subjective. So anyway, two analysts came out, and it was Needham and one other one came out with the buys at 82 and a buy at 81. Reiterating both of those ratings. Volume was really low through most of the day, and then they had this huge sell-off here, this little algo sell-off, knocked the stock down from 47.26 down to a close of 46.68. And then you notice the stock quickly recovered back to the 47 area. They were algo holding like all night at 48. And then just dropped the stock from 48 down to 45.50 area, popped it back up to 47 back. So they're just absolutely hammering the stock. And then algo just locked on, reaccumulated shares, probably doing some covering. But this is really the most important thing to observe here, guys. What's up, Walter Young, Adam DeMonico, the great Adam DeMonico. Whoop, whoop. It's great, Carl Seamark once again. Guys, this is the most important thing to look at is this number. Cost to borrow average, 11.31%. That number is usually less than 1. Cost to borrow max, this is the borrow rate, 18%. That number is usually 1 at the most. Now, if you look at the short interest, you're talking about 24.37% of the short of the free float is being shorted. That's 22.26 million shares. Days to cover, they have 9.5. Fintel has like 11. But shares on loan, this is really what you want to look at, is 31 million. So you're talking about, $1.3 billion worth of stock on loan at now 12% cost average. And that's spiking to 18%. Tomorrow that could spike to 25%. Because utilization has been pegged at 100% now, basically pegged at 100% for almost an entire month. So I don't know how they keep shorting this at these ratios. I'm looking at it. I don't know how mathematically it's even possible. Even naked shorting, I don't know how they get back to zero overnight, even with, failures to deliver. It just does not seem possible they hold this thing here and they keep shorting at these ratios. Because, look at the institutional ownership, 88%. This includes 4 or 5 big pharma companies that I think make very natural partners for CRISPR on CTX 340, CTX 320, whatever those things are. You see institutional ownership just growing and growing and growing. You see the put-call ratio, institutional put-call ratio. More and more calls. The puts are staying exactly the same over the last year. The puts haven't even moved. The calls went down, and then they just went last 7-8 months way back up to the point there's way more institutional calls than puts in this ratio right now. You can see this. This was basically even here, and then you see the ratio just turn more and more bullish. So you see the smart money, the smart shorts giving in again. You can see the major holders: ARK, T. Rowe Price, BlackRock. You know, many of the Sumitomo, State Street, UBS, FMR, LLC, Vanguard is even in the mix. They just increased their position. ARK has been increasing and increasing. I think, you know, I guess they're waiting for some material safety event, some negative event that can crush the stock down. But again, these are just a new breed of shorts. They don't cover at the lows. They never cover. They just short and hope because it's other people's money and they obviously don't care about it. Now, what I was saying in the last video is basically the same exact thing that happens here is eventually going to happen with SMCI. The cost to borrow going from 0.3 to 12 and then to 18, it's just not manageable because, you know, these positions these are not cash short positions. They're trading on margin. They're trading with other people's money. Pardon me. So anyway, guys, looking at the chart, whoops, that's not the chart. This is the chart. This is essentially where we're at. Now, why do they try so hard to step on this today? If you look at these short volume ratios, the one for today doesn't come out for another hour or so, but yesterday it was the highest I've ever seen, 74.17%. So today I expect this number could even be like 80%. I've never seen anything like this, but they've been in the low 70s multiple times. So this is just completely insane. 70s all through here, high 60s, 70s. It just doesn't stop. You know, it's John K. It has to explode. I haven't taken a look at cores, David. I'm sorry. I'll try. It's going to, Carl, this thing might go tomorrow, but at the latest, it's going to go next week. It has to go. I've never seen any shorting like this. It makes absolutely no sense. One of these bulls, one of these longs, I don't care if it's BlackRock, I don't care if it's, they're going to slam the door. They're going to start accumulating a bunch of shares. They're going to take the market of, you know, actually trading to zero. And it's going to run this thing way up the flagpole. I don't get this short. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Rich, yeah, Neo. I'm sorry, man. I know you want a Neo video. Listen, Neo's very competitive in the market they're in, which is, you know, the high end of the sort of middle of the high end of the market. They own that market. So this notion that Neo's in trouble with their sales, not really true. They had problems with the rollout of Onvo. I wish they would have done the Onvo, you know, the big, really cool looking SUV they're doing now instead of that Pontiac Aztec looking frog thing they did, like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle head. Oh, speaking of a turtle head, I have to pee. The great Eric Stoltz. How to help Neo launch Hong Kong? Are you guys teaming up on me now? Eric, you look like Paul Schaefer from the David Letterman show. Hopefully, yeah. Customer perspective. You guys want? All right. I'll do a Neo for God's sake. Nobody's watching this. Videos make no difference anyway. But I'm just looking at. Okay, look at what this site has. Days to cover 10.0. Short interest 23. Off exchange short volume ratio 74. Where, guys, this is only trading 2 million shares a day. Churn. How are they going to cover 24 million shares on a stock that trades 2 million shares a day and there's just no shares available? How does that math work? If I'm telling you, you guys hear me now, believe me later. This stock is going to short squeeze. It's going to moon. They have to cover. It should have done it today. The data, the ratings, that should have been enough to push. But clearly, these shorts are very, very stubborn, very well funded, and the shorts, I think, are the longs, and they just don't really care. So they're not going to play ball. What's going on? The great Jason Watkins, one of the greatest chess masters in the history of the world. Let's Poco indeed, guys. I'm actually almost done. I'm trying to get into a SoFi video also, but there's just too many things. I just really wanted to update you on what these guys are doing because you think today Huge positive day, huge positive news. The news we've been waiting for is this readout on the in vivo program. And you get these 80% reductions in triglycerides and LDL, which is basically a holy grail. It's like $1 trillion home run. And as far as the price action, you hear a mouse fart because the price is fixed. It's fake. And there's not enough momentum. There's not enough volume, but there'll probably be some stories, hopefully some more upgrades overnight. And you never know. Like putting out fires with gasoline, as the great prof said. Minnesota product, I believe. White wrapper. Yes, it will also push Neo. I got to go, guys. I'm going to work on a Neo video. I'm going to work on a SoFi video, and I'll try to get those out today if absolutely possible, but if at all possible, excuse me. But as long as this breaks through this line, it'll go through this consolidation, and it'll run up to 57. No problem. No problem whatsoever. Now, if it short squeezes, it's going to double. I know you're saying, are you crazy? How can it double? The reason it can double is you're combining a very low liquidity stock, a very slow churn, with a stock that is almost completely 100% owned by institutions, which just makes the liquidity even less. So they're borrowing 31 million shares out of 86 million that exist. Institutions own 80 million of those. Retail might own a few million. Big Pharma owns the rest. This thing's a powder keg, guys. This thing's a gravy train with biscuit wheels. This thing is primed, and it's going to absolutely explode. It's Crispr, guys. It's un poco mas. It's Danny Deals. They call me cornbread because I am moist, doughy, and I crumble under pressure. Thank you. How do you know it won't go back down to the bottom green trend line you have there? Brian, how do I know? Oh, well, look at the volume. Brian, look at where the volume spikes. It's all green. And then they push it back down with price fixing on much lower volume. Look at this line, Brian. You're answering your own question. How many times has it tested this line? It's had, after the spike, it had one test of the bottom line, and it's tried to break through the top line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 7th time. You tell me. If somebody knocks on the door once and then runs away versus somebody that pounds on the door 8 times, you tell me who's coming in. The girlish knocker or the big obnoxious pounder? You guys remember that? Who's that person? CCH Pounder. That's the greatest. I think it was on the Shield or something. It's the greatest name for an actor I've ever heard. CCH Pounder. On that note, guys, thanks for watching. Soon Poco Moss. Blah, blah.